people point at this game and say, that looks like Fortnite. And that is a problem.
Because it doesn't seem like they know their characters at all.
Okay, so let's do Lisa.
So, who's Lisa?
I don't know. Who is Lisa?
Dear God, if this doesn't scream Fortnite crossed with Abby from Last of Us Part 2, I don't know what is with her licorice whip of a hair. Somehow she went from a rich, preppy bitch of an equestrian to motorcycle 30 to 50-year-old woman.
Now it has way better graphics, but it no longer feels like Star Stable. It no longer is the original game it was.
It's bad storytelling. You need to stick to your own characters. It's not that hard. It doesn't make any sense.
Hello everyone! I don't really know how to start this video other than saying, what happened? Are our favorite and most well-known characters in this game still the same? There's a lot to unpack here, so sit down and grab a drink and let's talk about it. In 2018, Star Stable gave us the first look at the updated look for the Soul Riders Lisa, Linda, Anne, and Alex. I can personally remember being very excited about this update as the game was gradually updating and being renewed. It was the Soul Riders' turn to get an update. I think that they definitely needed this update because their assets really began to age and they no longer fit in the surroundings in the game. They looked kind of weird in like newer areas and it was definitely time for them to be updated. The old Soul Rider looks gave very like Y2K vibes, which makes sense as that was the time period that they were designed. There's also a very clear difference between the girls and their different styles, and I think that that's really highlighted in the original design of the Star Riders. The 4 Soul Riders have changed a bit following the update, so let's first take a look at how the characters' personalities have changed and also how some of them have kind of switched personality after this update. So let's start with Linda, her full name being Linda Chanda or Linda Chanda, I'm not sure how to say that. Linda, according to her bio, was born in Pakistan but has spent her teenage years in Jorvik. She has typically been known as being a very smart bookworm and a researcher, and it's known about her that she really likes to study ancient history, and we can frequently see her study books throughout the storyline, as well as her parent being teachers at the Oxford University. Though with the character update, a new side of her has kind of been brought to life. I have seen several people discuss in Star Stable forums how with this new update, Linda is kind of portrayed as being a big fan of the fictional manga Knights of Unistria. Again, not sure if I'm saying that right. It's the kind of like cartoon manga thing that Star Stable has going on. I think it's at like the Pink Pony store or whatever it's called, where you can find like all of the merch and stuff. Linda wears one of these shirts in her updated version. This is merch from this manga, and her room is also filled with unicorn plushies and books from this manga. Linda, being a big fan of this fictional story about girls fighting evil forces with their magical crystal unicorns, doesn't really seem in character. Not that I'm saying that this is a bad thing, it's just kind of weird because like we never really saw this before. She's always been kind of the like study knowledge type girl. She's never really shown an interest in comics before, and as soon as we got this update, she's suddenly so into this manga thing. Although I like how they have added more story behind her and kind of given her a wider personality, though I think that her new design doesn't really fit with her old one. Her old style is much more representative of kind of like a nerdy bookworm. Her hair has also changed from brown to black, but I wouldn't really put that against SSO as she is from Pakistan, so like she could have she could have had any hair color. It's just worth to mention. She does still have her glasses, I believe, and I honestly I don't think her design is too bad. I don't really think that it fits her personality and how we knew her from before, but yeah, but I don't hate it. Like it's okay. Now for Anne, which her full name is Anne van Blissen. She is known to be like a little bit of a diva, and honestly I love that about her. Like I absolutely love and in the Starshine games. Like, I love how she acts and her personality. She comes from a rich background and she is a little snarky and sassy, but she's also humble and really generous. For what felt like an eternity, Anne was trapped in Pandoria in Star Stable Online, so her old look made little to no appearances in Star Stable Online. She was in Pandoria for most of the time. Her style, in my opinion, is the one to have changed the least from her old appearance. And I think the biggest difference being that she now has a purple/pink scar on her face, but that is canon because it is from Pandoria. She also seems to be a tad bit less preppy, but I love that they kept her iconic headband from her old design. Moving on to Alex, she does seem to be the one to be most true to herself, and I hope the SSO team will continue to keep her in this character because she is a character that I just love. Alex's full name is Alex Cloudmail, and she's known kind of as this like tough tomboy who is the only girl among 4 brothers. She's known to be disobedient and she has been in a lot of trouble throughout the story, but she's very bold, tough, strong, and caring. The update gave her a lot thicker backstory and we know a lot more about her now than we did before. Her style has also had a slight change from the Y2K skater style. I really liked her old outfit and I wish that they would give her something closer to that. She looks a little weird in my opinion, and she looks a lot older now than her actual age, but she still lives up to the tomboy style. She still has her beanie. Alex is also known to have a rumored relationship with Maya. This has been discussed back and forth several times. Some people claim that Star Stable has changed status in their bios from partners to friends. In the quests, they honestly seem like a couple. That was a thing, but apparently not. I might actually make a dedicated video about their relationship because I think that this is very interesting and I really want to research this. Please let me know if you would like a video about this. Now for Lisa Peterson, and she's probably the character who has changed the most following this update. Older games, Lisa was a punk rock star with red, spiky hair who loved rock music. The updated version, she is still a musician, but far from what she used to be like. Now she seems to be kind of like a country girl and just completely different style, and she also lost her spiky red hair.
Oh my god, we wanted to keep her like iconic red hair.
Feel like a real girl, because I mean that hair like a little bit like a succulent, what was it called? Succulent.
Now has a much more tame country style with medium short pinkish red hair. Her eye and skin color were also changed significantly, which has sparked some discussion in the community because it feels as though she is a completely new character but just with the same name. There are still posters hanging around Jorvik with older pictures of her, but there's no way someone who has never seen the old version actually know that that is Lisa, and I think that that speaks volumes about like how much she has changed as a character. I am going to be voicing my opinion on this at the end of the video, but I'm just going to say, like, as a note now, I just have to be straightforward and say that I don't really like the updated characters. I am kind of biased when it comes to that topic. I understand that this is a controversial topic and I don't want to offend anyone. If you like the character updates, that's fully okay. I understand that. You're entitled to your own opinion. I think that the updated characters are kind of giving like millennial fashion. I wish that they still had their Y2K outfits. I think that one thing that's repeated a lot throughout the Star Stable community is that Star Stable don't even know their own characters. I'm gonna show you a video of the Star Stable team talking about when they designed the new characters, and guys, just listen to what they say in this video. Listen.
Art in the game, and I went to you, Matilda, and said, okay, so let's do Lisa.
Yeah, and I was like, great, so who's Lisa?
And when you asked me, I was like, I don't know. Who is Lisa? Then we realized we have a problem because if we don't know them, nobody knows them.
No.
Like, what? Even admit that they don't know who Lisa, the oldest character in the Jorvik universe, is? Like, I'm sure this was just an over-exaggeration. Like, obviously they know who Lisa is, but at The designers not knowing enough about the characters can definitely be a source to why they turned out this way. Hi, I'm sorry, the audio cut out at this point, but basically what I was trying to say is that I feel like these new characters look like as if someone who's never heard of Star Stable before or never played any of the previous games redesigned the characters and basically just made a reimagined version of them without really knowing anything about them beforehand, which I actually feel like is the case, especially because of the video that I showed you. The Soul Riders aren't the only victims of this update. Dark Riders has also been updated, but in opposition to the Soul Riders, Dark Riders are kind of confusing and they have had a lot more happen to them than just a design change. There has been a bunch of storyline changes leading to the Dark Riders. Fourth Dark Rider we now know as Arista was first referred to as Nihili, then Lise, and then Chiyo, or I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Chiyo, and finally ended up as Arisa. And the character we have previously known as Jessica has become a different character called Jay. Jessica is at the end of the day the same character as Jay, but it's understandable that several players look at them as two different people. Looking at the two characters, there are visual similarities like the fact that they both have green eyes and black hair. Jay has a medium to dark skin tone and is believed to be of South Asian descent, while Jessica is very pale and seems to have no mentions of her ethnicity. Seems like as for now, Star Stable is using the name Jessica for Jay again, but the community tends to use these two names to differentiate between the two models of the character because they don't really look like the same person. Another confusing element in the storyline is that Darko refers to the horse at the platform as Nihili. Is the previous name of the character now named Arisa. It is possible that this was just a confusion and he's actually talking about the horse, or that Arisa was actually not supposed to be named Nihili, but this is something that I've seen people discuss. Now I know that Nihili is Arisa's horse, but it's still a little confusing because of the fact that it kind of seemed like he was talking about Arisa and not her horse. Chiyo is the character that originally was going to be Arisa, which makes sense because the horse we saw at the platform, who supposedly was Nihili, is a lot more similar to Chiyo's horse than Arisa's horse. Around the time that Star Stable released her first sneak peek on Chiyo's design, this post is extremely long, so I'm going to compress it a bit, but I'm going to leave the link for it down below so you can read it in its entirety because this is a really important matter. The post talks about how Star Stable got one Japanese character and whole design supports idea of her being Japanese in the worst way possible because it leans a lot on stereotypes of Japanese people. Star Stable got one Japanese character and her look is colored hair and colorful childish clothes. This leans a lot on the weeaboo image of Japan and kind of implies that we can't have a Japanese character without it resembling extravagant anime character, cute emoji cat thigh-high socks, and cute colorful big shoes and jewelry. Problem across all Western media, especially kids media, is that her whole design and fashion, while being the only Japanese character, is implication that Japanese people can exist only as cute and that East Asians are not distinguishable enough to be presented without crazy fashions. And one thing that's an example of this is hair, because she is the only Dark Rider to have this of a natural hair color. Her name is actually a Japanese name, but it's a 2-syllable name and very short, cute, easy to pronounce, and very westernized. This is a common thing for East Asian people in media. God forbid Western people have to encounter longer Japanese names, or even worse, like uncute, short, 1-syllable names. These are just some of the arguments. As I said, I'm going to link this whole post down below. If I'm not Japanese or even Asian, this is not really my place to speak, but I can definitely agree on the statements made by this person. Stereotypical image of Japanese girls is something that we see a lot of in video game characters. This whole backlash made Star Stable take back Chiyo's release and instead made a redesign with the name Arisa and changed her design completely. The character is still a child and kind of has the same vibe but completely different colors, and if you look at the old design of Chiyo, it actually makes a lot more sense. Arisa's design does. They said like with the horse and stuff, it's actually canon. As far as I know, Star Stable has never issued an apology, but I've seen them mention the situation in the January 2024 game blog, where the senior concept artist refers to the situation as getting feedback we didn't expect. It's actually really hard to find documentation about this backlash. I remember all of it, like I remember it when it was going on, but it was actually hard to find like going back on it. That's why I'm not sure if Star Stable ever an apology or not, because it seems like they kind of hide it. Moving on to another one of the Dark Riders, Sabine. I've seen them mention Sabine ever since her first appearance in Starshine Legacy. We now know that she is one of the Dark Riders. Dark Riders, they work for Mr. Sands and they serve Garnock. Sabine kind of sticks out from the rest of the Dark Riders, as the other Dark Riders like Katya, Jessica, and Arissa seem to be non-humans or possessed by some sort of dark energy. None of the Dark Riders seems to ever talk about their family or anything else that suggests that they are normal humans, except for Sabine, who we know has a family due to her dialogue in Starshine Legacy. So throughout Starshine Legacy, there are only 3 Dark Riders portrayed and talked about, and when Starshine and Lisa is in the paddock, Starshine does not react to Sabine at all, and doesn't seem to react before Mr. Sands arrives. So if Sabine was really a Dark Rider, wouldn't he have reacted to her as well? The well-known fact that Sabine is very competitive and willing to do anything to win. In that same questline, Sabine did lock the girls in the stable. I personally think that this was only because her greatest competitor has just lost her horse. Sabine has not shown any signs of using magic in Starshine Legacy, and despite being a bully, she was innocent. Being a non-human Dark Rider isn't impossible though. You need to remember that Justin Moreland has actually also once been a Dark Rider. Again, Darkcore stated that they had no use for Justin because he lacked a supernatural ability, which they claimed that a Dark Rider needs a supernatural ability. So it's kind of hard to tell where Star Stable is going with this. It's not sure that everything that happened in Starshine Legacy is canon for Star Stable. So yeah, there's just no way to know, but in the previous games, she doesn't really seem like she's evil or works with Mr. Sands or serves Garnock or anything. She's kind of just like a bully. Now for Sabine's update. A lot of things have changed. In the other games and in Star Stable before she got her update, Sabine looks like a teenager. It makes sense. She's only supposed to be 16 in Starshine Legacy. So in Star Stable Online, she's supposed to be 19, but in my opinion, she looks a little bit older than that. Physique is also very different from before, as she now seems to have a lot more muscle and wore a lot more preppy clothes in Starshine Legacy. Seems to have longer hair, though she was described to have long hair before, but not as long as she has now, I don't think. People also comment that her skin color has changed, but no, it's not too different from before. She could have just gotten like a tan. Personally, I definitely think that there's a character change. Like, she was also a little bit of a diva before, like snappy, snarky. Now she just kind of seems to be more serious and not really like the bully that she was before. I also think that her eye color changed. She has red eyes now, or at least in some cutscenes she does. A lot of changes has been made in the Star Stable universe, both storyline-wise and design-wise. A lot of these updates are not very well received by the community. We like to cling on to our childhood game. Most of it just because we like how it is in general. Some of these changes are just a matter of habit, like for example our character update. And the update for our characters released, I was above and beyond dissatisfied. I literally hated it. Didn't think it looked good at all. But now that the game has kind of like evolved, you can see the vision and how our characters needed an update, even though it's not exactly how I imagined it. Our characters fit a lot more into the environment now, and also with the other updated characters. However, I don't really think that I can say the same about the Soul Riders and the Dark Rider updates. Couple years have passed now, and I'm kind of still struggling to make these new characters fit into the world of Jorvik. That's why I'm making this video. For the most part, I don't really like their design. I feel like there wasn't much consideration taken when it came to the existing characters and their already well-established personalities. I think a good example of a character update is for Loretta. She was fully updated, but still kept most of her OG outfit, hair, color. Her personality, I think it's a little bit more nicer now, but it's still more true to her character the Soul Riders are. Or you can't really compare Loretta to the Soul Riders because SSO writers have a lot more dialogue and play a much bigger role in the story, so you can't really compare it. I think that the reason for a lot of these changes are simply due to audience. Star Stable team seems to be focusing on their younger audience, newer audience, rather than their OG players, and I understand why, you know, it's for profit, but it's just sad to see things go. There's not really much we can do other than to give the Star Stable team our feedback. Like I said before, if you like their updates and think that they are amazing, it's good for you. And I don't have anything against that. This is totally just my own opinion, and feel free to tell me what you think by leaving a comment. I always love hearing you guys' opinions. In the video I made about the Calder's disappearance, I have gotten a bunch of different comments from players that have different perspectives that I never thought about before, which I'm really thankful for, and I really love getting your guys' opinions. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing, as I am working on more videos like this. I have a lot of things I want to make videos about. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!